This is the Scary Movie Clubcast.
Live from the clubhouse, this is Scary Movie Clubcast. This is Nadine.
And this is Amanda.
And Kate.
And we just watched episode 7 of The Haunting of Hill House.
Epilogue?
Eulogy.
Eulogy. There we go. That makes more sense.
Eulogy is the name of the episode.
Amanda is going to give us some fun facts.
We're going to go over the where my ghosts at fun facts. There's this one that it's not even really worth pointing out. But apparently there's like a hidden ghost in the doorway or in that balcony area where the stairs come up to the 3rd floor from the library, where you can see a ghost behind Hugh's shoulder when he's trying to break into the red room. But I looked and I was like, maybe? It's like the littlest sliver you can see that maybe there's something
They're
there.
like, that's a ghost.
Yeah, it gotta be. And then in the basement scene, when Hugh's trying to clean up the mold down there that they discover in this episode, you can see a ghost girl in the background of several shots, just as Hugh is about to discover what's hidden behind the brick wall. And I found a bunch of other fun things, because this IMDb list was, the fun fact list was very short for this episode in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like supplementary fun facts.
Okay.
So in the past episodes where we've seen now when she first appears to the siblings like individually, like she appears to them wearing the last thing that sibling saw her in when she was alive, her outfit.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, I just thought this interesting. Shirley Jackson actually suffered from agoraphobia and often felt oppressed by her role as a wife and mother, because she wrote Hill House in like the 50s. And that makes a lot of sense to me for a woman writing a ghost story about a haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
It makes even more sense, I think, if you know more about her actual novel, because like we said before, the plots don't align. It's mostly just the name and the idea of this haunted house that's been haunted for ages, to the point that it's like alive.
It'd be so sad for your mother to describe motherhood as oppressive.
Yeah.
So the 1999 movie of Hill House with Liam Neeson was originally going to be directed by Wes Craven, but he left the project, and someone else did it, and they did not a great job.
Oh.
Interesting. Would have been interesting to see his take on it.
It really would have. Because Wes Craven's kind of known for flipping things around, like when it comes to genres, particularly the slasher genre, just because he like created A Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream, and they're both like very different from like the slashers that were coming out at the time, as we talked about in our slasher episode. So something that I thought was interesting in like interviews of the cast, apparently some of the cast found shooting of Hill House was like somewhat disturbing, just because they felt like, at least Oliver Jackson Cohen felt like it was grounded in reality, and like I think that's what probably disturbed him the most, is that it's like dealing with all these like really real raw emotional issues that come up, and it's not just about ghosts, which I think reflects back to the first episode. I love what Steven's character says about ghosts, is that they're not just like these apparitions. Sometimes a ghost can just be like memories, things from our past, just like they're just different things that haunt us, and they're not always like supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I really found this really interesting. So Mike Flanagan planned to reveal much more about the previous residents turned ghost who haunted Hill House, but the scenes were eventually cut from the final script. Flanagan says, "We had actually written and planned to shoot a complete history of Hill House," he said in the interview with Entertainment Weekly. "Every other episode would open with about a 5-minute history thing narrated by Steven from his book, and we did take from Jackson that the first victim of Hill House died before anyone ever really stepped foot in it. We had built a really complex history of the Hill family that we ultimately didn't shoot," Flanagan explained. "We didn't have the time or the money to shoot it, which really broke my heart at the time. But we figured if we had to focus on anything, we had to focus on the Crane family.
It's almost worse now, considering that so many people loved it and it was such a huge hit.
I know, and they're like, they should have
They're
given me the
We
money.
didn't have enough money.
You know, that would break my
But
heart.
you got the money now, don't you?
Yeah, I bet they do.
Apparently, Stephen King doesn't just love the original Shirley Jackson novel. According to this, he also praises this new horror series as being very good as well. I don't have a direct quote or anything, but... Mm-hmm. So, the actress who plays Shirley, Elizabeth Reeser?
Razor?
Elizabeth Racer. Razor? Oh, not good at names. So her character is a mortician. Didn't know, now you know. And she actually worked with several morticians in Georgia and watched a lot of embalming videos to help her prepare for her role.
That's cool.
And the actress who plays Nellie, I thought this was so interesting. She sent in a self-tape for the role of Nell. She had never booked an acting job before, didn't even have a headshot at the time.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Wonder how she heard about it.
I don't know. Maybe she was just starting out. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Must have been a really good audition tape.
I know. It must have been. Because this, like, seriously launches her career. Because, like, she has a main role in You. She's been in a few other things, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a fact from one of the episodes we already watched. In the first episode, Steven sees a ghost. Hugh and Olivia originally had a much longer scene when they're in their bed talking. And they talk about parenthood and their children more. So there was, like, a lot that got cut from that. And I really like this. In early versions of the pilot, it wasn't revealed that all the characters were siblings until they woke up at the same time. When Nell died.
Oh, wow.
That would have been interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, before production began, Mike Flanagan knew he wanted Heavenly Day by Patty Griffin to play during Nell's love story montage. And when she returns to Hill House, the entire episode was built around the idea of Nell dancing to the song in Hill House. Oh, and there's a part where the older version of Hugh, he, like, looks back into the funeral parlor, and that look back was because he forgot his lines and he's looking at the director.
Nice.
Oh, and the funeral director who walks little baby Shirley up to see her mom is Mike Flanagan's brother, James Flanagan.
Oh,
Oh.
that's funny. Nepotism.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I have some that I'm saving for later.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah. Those are my fun facts. Not a lot from this episode, but...
Well, 17 minutes worth of fun facts.
Yeah. Most of them, not for this episode.
Yeah, I know.
This episode felt a little slower, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Not as action-packed.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's kind of like building up to the end now.
Yeah.
You know, it's all setting it up for the big climax, which will probably be like a whole episode or two long. So I can kind of understand that. And plus, we've had so many like action-packed episodes before.
Yeah.
They kind of needed some to like slow down a little bit to really like pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the monologue of Mr. Dudley in the basement to Hume. I think
Yeah.
that's like so like powerful the way it's like delivered by him. I was also reading when I was looking for fun facts. I was reading this one article. They did not like this show.
Who did it?
Not worth mentioning.
Critics?
No, it was just this one article I read.
Oh, like article. Oh, like.
I don't know, like it was like sort of okay, and then like all of a sudden just starts bashing the show. It's like the novel is so amazing, like, and I'm sure it is. I haven't read it. I've only seen the bad 1999 version film of it, but I'm sure it's a great book, and I look forward to reading it one day. But like they made this show seem like trash. And I'm like, I just don't think you like TV.
Yeah.
And because they were like saying that the writing in it was poor.
Yeah, I
And,
don't
like-
know anybody who hasn't liked this show.
I feel like some of the writing in it is so good, and some of the dialogue is so good too. Am I wrong? Like I felt insane reading that. I was like, maybe you just don't have a TV. I think you're the kind of person that doesn't even own a TV.
Maybe they're just jelly.
Like, why couldn't I have written
Yeah.
a show this good?
Right.
I really like the scene where the dad knocks on Theo's door and they like have their little cup of coffee. I thought that was sweet.
I know. So, I mean, your favorite character is Shirley.
I guess.
Basically.
I mean, I don't honestly like any of them except for the children. But but yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's more so just that I understand a lot of like why Shirley does a lot of the things she does.
And yours, you'd think would be Theo?
She's like, no, you guys have just pushed that on me.
I mean,
No, I think probably the little girl's my favorite.
oh no.
No. Oh my gosh, it's definitely 1 a.m. Like, all these names. Yeah. Probably Nellie. Nellie's my favorite.
Yeah, my favorite character has always been the dad. I just think he's like so sweet. And I mean, yeah, he's not perfect, but like he's just done his best, and I just think he, I don't know, works really hard to like preserve this memory of his wife for his kids so that they always remember her at her best. She says like those last couple of days of their marriage where she dies, that wasn't really her. That wasn't what they were. And he tries to make sure that that's not a part of their mom that they remember.
Yeah, it was interesting too, though, like in that same moment where she's basically saying that, how she's like, you don't have to see them again until who knows when, unless you want to. And that
Yeah.
part made me be like, it's just an interesting kind of like mirror to say, like, okay, yeah, the kids kind of push him out of the family, but also he seems to want that distance. I guess because it's like a painful reminder, but still sad.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, I think he would just rather have the hate on him versus their mom. I mean, even though they still kind of like are really hurt by the fact that she, like, as far as they know, killed herself. But I feel like he tries to divert as much of that onto himself, and I just think he's just so sweet. He just does the best he can.
He has so much animosity too towards their aunt,
Yeah.
who took in 5 kids.
Yeah.
No, it helps step in when they couldn't be there, I guess.
Yeah, but I think it's like hinted at earlier on that there's kind of maybe a bit of like a custody battle that happened, because he's talking to that lawyer and he's like, you need to say something if you want to like win custody of these kids, and he's like, well, he didn't want to say too much, and so I think that's just hard.
5 kids is just a lot to take in.
Yeah, and I feel like it's probably just a really awkward relationship with everything that happened, because like that's also like his wife was her sister, and like so she probably feels a lot of the same way that the kids do about like not really knowing what happened that day. Yeah, just a very Hugh heavy episode.
If you woke up and your wife, okay, your significant other, your husband, is straddling you with a screwdriver to your neck, would your response be, hey, honey, no, we need to talk. We should talk this through.
I'm like, what the heck?
He was
That
so
person would be
calm.
on the ground.
He was so calm. He was just like, what are you doing? We should talk about this. Which, I mean, I guess at that point he had seen a lot of really crazy things, but still, I mean, I would think I'd be a little bit more concerned than he was just like, hey, maybe don't do that. So, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and I feel like this is like one of the big episodes where you start to see Olivia's character really like unravel. Like it was kind of happening before with that episode where she kept disappearing and like reappearing in different spots.
Yeah.
Like now this time you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Which also, she does such a good job of acting out that scene. Like when he like shows her the blueprints. And,
Yeah.
like, so good. Such great acting.
I know.
Yeah. And she's like, I didn't do this.
And he's like, but yeah. He's like, but honey, you did.
But you did. And she's like, no, I didn't.
And he's like, let's look at it. That's the Forever House. You
Yeah.
know it. I know
She's
it.
like, nope, this wasn't me.
These migraines, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, the migraines.
Must have blacked out.
What did they call it? The color storms? Or-
Yeah,
Color
Color
Storms.
Storms. I love the show.
Yeah.
So hyped out of my mind for season 2. I just hope it lives up to this one.
So they still think it's going to be October, like Halloween, or is COVID pushing it back?
It had already wrapped
Oh, perfect.
before the quarantine.
All right, you guys, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Movie Clubcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next episode. Bye.
Bye. It irritates me, like, I didn't select these things to copy and paste.
Technology is not our friend tonight.
No, it's against me. Everything's against me. I also didn't want this son of
I like the little ticket made on here.
Create like an auto-tune with that.
Kill me. We had built a really complex history of Hill House, but the family was history of the Hill House family, but read the words that are down here. This more stuff about Rose Red. Get out of here. I hate everything. What, did it scroll back up? Oh my gosh.
I guess that's the benefit of like me watching it later and not when it first comes out, is I don't have to wait as long for the new season.